Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday randomly here on the channel. I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out. It's been kind of froggy all day, so we'll see. This is probably not the best day to do a live stream, but I have today off. Our school district had Friday and Monday off for Easter, which was really cool. So happy Easter to everybody that celebrates. He is risen. And anyway, I'm Chris the Batman statue collector. If you're watching this, you probably already know that. But I have a random Monday afternoon, and so I thought, why not talk to you guys? I have been frantically moving all kinds of crap in the bat cave. I've been rearranging things, putting stuff back where it was, putting stuff in the middle to kind of, see kind of what I like, what I don't like. But anyway, welcome to the show, guys. This is your show. So this is where you guys ask me stuff and I answer stuff to the best of my ability. I will do my best to, whatever you guys want to talk about today. I've got a number of videos up on the channel for members right now, which is very exciting. I have a lot to say about kind of some new developments in the collecting hobby. We're also going to talk about stuff in terms of what's going on Wednesday night for Rogues Gallery Live. So anyway, let's do this. We got Josh Rock and Roll Rankins in the house. I want to give a shout out to him. He messaged me earlier today, kind of trying to talk about the podium situation, kind of like what I should do for the middle. And I'm definitely trying some things out. And so, you can kind of see behind me where I've added a bunch of things in the middle just to kind of see what they look like. And so, Josh, I do appreciate your advice. It feels like half of the people want me to have nothing in the middle. Half the people kind of like what I've done in the middle, like the idea of this guy in the middle. I believe Josh was kind of saying, have some of the bigger dioramas in the middle, which makes complete sense to me. And maybe that's what I'll do as I get them in. But in the meantime, I thought about having the premium formats on the sides. It kind of brings them forward, lets me actually enjoy them, because in the back, I hardly ever go back there. I'm always up here. And so this kind of lets me, I don't know, kind of feel like the statues are closer to me, enjoying them a little bit more again. I guess that makes sense. So again, I do appreciate everybody's advice. Nice surprise. Let's talk podiums. Are you still getting a sample of the spec one? So Todd messaged me, I don't remember, it's probably been 3 or 4 months ago, and said that he would still like to send me a sample. And so I could show you guys what it's going to entail with a light up feature. I'm still hoping that happens. I haven't heard anything from Todd. I don't know if it's going to be an issue of him getting those in now. I don't know where they're made. I'm hoping they're made in the United States. That way we won't have that problem. But the tariff stuff, it's just kind of getting worse in terms of things that are going to be getting here. We're hearing from more and more companies that are affected directly by this. And so we'll see. We'll see kind of what happens with this. But I'm hoping that the podium's still on its way. I'm hoping. How's it going, sir? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very, very much. We've got Paula. Well, hello there, Chris. Are you hiding from me going on in the middle of the day? Yes, I am. Again, we had the day off today, so just kind of a nice special treat. This weekend for me personally, I'm a wrestling fan, so we did WrestleMania on kind of basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday evenings with the Hall of Fame, and then 2 days of Mania and also NXT. So I spent my entire weekend doing that stuff. So this camera, I don't understand. This is a very good camera, but I think it's trying to focus too much on other things. So I do apologize. But anyway, I'm off for today. And so I thought, why not do a live stream? Hope all is well. Same to you, Paula. Jeff says, congrats on the Batman on Throne, Chris. Absolutely love it. Really like the quarter scales on the podium idea with the throne in the middle. Well, thank you. Again, that's kind of what I'm kind of trying right now. I've actually contemplated ordering 4 or 5 more pedestals. Again, the Joker is gone, so kind of wheel this way. So the Joker is gone, and I would, I'm going to move this over to that middle area just to see what it looks like. That's not the podiums I would use. I would definitely build something new. But I'm just trying to kind of figure out what might work in the middle. But I have heard from a lot of people that like the idea of the little premium formats. They kind of fit on the podiums. I would decorate them like this. I'm going to take your graphic off, Jeff, but I would decorate it like this where I'd have fronts. I thought about having black like the tops, and then like in the middle here having kind of a grayish color that would match that gray on the sides. This kind of like this color gray, just to give it kind of a pop. Add a little bit more gray tone to the room. So I might do that. I feel like a lot of people have said that, you know, I created the bottoms too low, and that's why I don't like them. And I think you're exactly right. My thought was to put third scales down there, and I still probably will. You know, I've contemplated moving more third scales. I'll probably put the movie pieces down here. Some people have suggested putting the movie pieces in the middle. I might do that, but if I have the podiums, that would block all of that. So I'd most likely go to these two just for the time being, and then leave the other ones empty. Again, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Put your stuff wherever you like it. Using the metal is completely fine. Use the space that you have. So again, that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of tinkering. This is early indeed, Brad. It's I wasn't expecting to go live, but I was down here anyway, so I thought, well, why not talk a little bit, hang out. I haven't even used my generous cream yet for the day. There you go. Well, I appreciate that. Day's young still. What is Prime One doing with these tariffs? They have something in mind. So, Paula, from what I've gathered, is that they are actually kind of doing us a favor by holding on to this product. The problem is that depending on how long this lasts, Prime One has said that they would like hold on to stuff for like 3 months and then cancel the item. I have a problem with that. I've had things on order for 2 years. I don't want them to cancel them. So I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. Hey, Chris, have you tried changing the screens on the throne piece? No, I haven't. Actually, I took the screens off because I was going to try to move it myself. I took Batman and the chair off by myself, but I was going to try to move the base, and I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to wait till somebody gets home. But anyway, I haven't tried to change it yet. I haven't really tinkered with it yet. Hemorrhoid, that's way more funnier, Brad. I appreciate that. I cried. No, Alexa and Roman lost. I did too. He's my guy. I've actually had a chance to meet Roman and Alexa, and they're two of my favorites. Mania was a letdown in a lot of ways for me. And again, if you're not a wrestling fan, I apologize, but kind of lackluster. The main event was pretty awful last night. I just don't know what they're doing. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen Alexa, but we got to see Becky Lynch instead. George is in the house saying thanks. Thank you, my friend, always here. Thank you always for your support. I'm getting worried about this tariff stuff. Seems like they are on hold, but for how long? Just send us the statues we paid for. I mean, the problem is, Ledge, is that if they do, we might have to pay $145 tariff fee on top of what we paid. And so I don't think a lot of people would be real happy about that. So if you agree to that, maybe reach out to Prime One and maybe they'll ship it. I think your main display, you should have had your bottom row 10 inches off the ground. And again, in retrospect, I think that's probably what I would have done. I think that would have made it look a lot better. I could have had the premium formats down below. I still think I can. You can see Mr. Freeze kind of just chilling down there. Again, I'm just trying to get some visuals for myself, but in retrospect, again, my thinking was that these will all be third scales. That's going to be my focus. Well, at that time, that's about the time that Prime One started going more toward quarter scales, which these quarter scales are still massive, but they're not third scales, and that's still my favorite scale. And so it's it just is what it is. And so in retrospect, I would have built up the bottom ledges a lot taller. Why'd you sell the Infinity Studio Joker bust? Was it to make space for Tactical Throne? I loved the Ledger bust, especially straight on from the side angle. I thought it looked just like Heath Ledger. From the other angle, from like this side of the room angle, not as much. It's not perfect. But I feel like that piece, as good as it was, it's a lot of money, and B, I felt like it was kind of holding me back because that was really the only spot in the room. I could have put it up against walls, but now art is there. I don't want to block the art. I had the same issue with Tactical Throne, or excuse me, with Batman Triumphant on the tower. I really have no spot for him. If I do the quarter scales on the sides, I don't have any room for that piece. So I'm worried about that. Where would it go? Because if I put it on a wall, it's going to block art. So the ledger bus, I couldn't put it down below. It didn't look good. I tried it down below. It looked awful. It needs to be at least waist height. So at the end of the day, that was the piece that was holding me back. And so I decided to let it go. I'm not tied to anything in my collection. If things have to go, they have to go. And it was time. It was just time to move on. As I said, I had to rip off the Band-Aid. And so it's still a great piece. I will miss it at times, but I'm ready to move on and do something different with the display. If the bottom is too low, maybe I suggest adding a small riser mini podium to raise them. Actually, I took one of these and I flipped it on its side and put it down here on the bottom, just to set premium formats on. And it was too tall. But I had the exact same idea. Like maybe it just needs to have a built-in ledge where I could put this stuff on, maybe. We should be grandfathered in because we purchased these before the tariffs took effect. There is no such thing as grandfathered in. Unfortunately, it's just a blanket tariff. Anything over $800. Now, if Prime One claimed they were $800 or less, maybe we would be okay. And maybe they're looking into that. I don't know. I know a lot of the custom, they'll if you buy a custom, they'll say, what do you want us to claim it as? And you say $1, then you don't get the fees. But I don't think there is any such thing as grandfathered in. Cheers from Paris, France. Always following the channel. Keep going with your super collection. Take care, Diego. Thank you very much, Diego Perota. I hope I said that right. Cheers from France. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods sometime soon, so I'm looking forward to that. And thank you for being a viewer. Really appreciate it. Why won't they just ship our statues, tell us the fee, and let us decide if you want to pay it? I think that would have been the better way to do it, because I think a lot of people would choose to get it in anyway. But I think once people realize, again, if you're paying 145% of a $2,000 statue, you do the math. Becky is hot and good at her job, but I prefer Alexa. Yeah, I love Alexa. Absolutely. She's fantastic. I think it's time for a Wrestling Rogues reunion. It might be, Josh. We might have to do it. Jeff says, might be interesting instead of the light gray paint on the podium fronts, might be interesting to blow up some colored pictures of the 1/4 scale characters to sit on top of them. It's possible. I like to, I don't know. I like to try to get it as museum looking as possible. So I probably wouldn't go that route, but I do appreciate the suggestion. Again, I just kind of like the idea of either keeping them black or maybe a little bit of gray color to tie in the rest of the room. You could change the pictures as you change the characters on the podium. That is true. That is true. $145 does not seem like much in the grand scheme of things. Weird to cancel over such a small amount. Again, it's just going to be interesting to see what they decide. Again, I don't think I've seen really a true public statement from them. We've seen some posts from customer service responses, but I'm anxious for Prime One to address this. I'm jumping in late. Love your setup, but are you able to do 2 rows of pedestals in your center of your room? Yes, I could do 2 complete rows of pedestals and still have a complete walkway on the side. And again, I think this room is deceptively large. A lot of people don't really understand how big this room is. And so, yeah, I could absolutely go, and I'll show you. I'll just walk over. So again, here I am. I don't know if you can see me or if the chair's in the way. Let me move the chair. That'd probably help. So again, I can do all this back here. I'm way back here. Then come over here. Be another row of pedestals right there. So it's possible. Will it focus? Again, there's too many good things in the background. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hi, Kenneth. Had an interesting one today. Ordering trading cards from China. There was no tariff on express orders, so it wasn't a whole lot cheaper. But now I'm getting my stuff 2 weeks earlier. That's good to know. Polly's Hideout. I appreciate you doing these live shows. Make the workday better, and I like seeing the community trying to decide between the Cad Bane PF or Batgirl PF. I know, odd choice. Well, man, that's very different statues, but they're both really good. So yeah, I think that to me, Batgirl's the better piece, but Cad Bane's good too, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Good luck deciding. I know it's tough. Isn't the tariff based on the cost of making the statue and not the retail price? I don't know. I assumed it was retail because that's what's actually coming in these states, but I don't know. There was talking about them canceling one of the Alita Fallen Angel pieces when they showed production update photos a couple weeks ago. Have you heard anything? I haven't. If they're showing production photos, I would assume that that's not been canceled. There might be one that if they haven't shown it yet, there's a chance. But if they're showing particular pieces in the factory, it's being made. I hope they claim these at less money. It's not a big deal to do that. They can claim the amount that it costs them to make, not the sales price, not that difficult. So I agree. I would love to see a statement from Prime One addressing that. I think they need to. They're only supposed to submit their cost, not the actual price we paid. Well, that's good to know. Why not Hulk? It's Batman Statue Collector channel, my friend. So again, room's coming okay. I think I'm just trying to figure it out with the middle. I want to move this guy today and try to get him in the middle just to kind of see what that would look like. But the great thing about this room is it's always going to change. It's always going to ebb and flow. I like the statues being closer to me. Again, everything in the background, I don't go back there and look much. And so I feel like they just all get lost. And so having all the premium formats kind of around me where they don't really block the background. Yes, they block the lower shelves, but they're empty anyway. So I kind of like the idea of having these podiums, and I might just do it for a little while and then change it as I go. But I do like the idea of having the art closer to me. I have 2 payments remaining on my waitlist Keaton Batman from Prime One. Think it'll be okay paying the tariff fee. Well, again, hopefully they'll ship it to you. Yeah, I mean, Keaton's worth it. As long as the tariff situation is not changing and DSL is stopping all deliveries over $800, Prime One is delaying the product as shown in the email they send, not only for US, but also the rest of the world. But again, why can't they just claim it's less than 800? So that's what I want to know. It's part of the fun moving statues around. And yeah, I mean, that it can be, but man, these things are freaking heavy. I just removed or moved those 2 statues. I moved Harley. I just moved him back up there. I moved Mr. Freeze back up there on the shelf. Heavy. I like that your bottom shelves are bigger, allows for frame art behind the 1/3 scale, not the 1/3 scales. I also thought about that too, is if I have the premium formats, I could put some art down there for sure. Should I cancel my T800 from Prime One Studio before they charge me for shipping and handling? I don't think that they're going to charge anybody right now. I just can't imagine them doing that if everything's on hold. I wouldn't go crazy yet. You think Sideshow will still release Man Bat this year, or at least pre-order info with this tariff situation? I do. I mean, we're still a year out from production, so I still think that they'll put some stuff up for pre-order. They did Cad Bane, so I think Man Bat will still happen this year. All of our collection rooms changed so much. I've always used pedestals to show 360 views of these expensive pieces. I think they would really step up your display with so much room you have. Again, like I just feel like these podiums are small, and I'm gonna dress them up. I'm gonna make them look. I mean, right now they're just bookshelves, but like I want to dress them up and make them look nice. And I really think that they're perfect for the smaller premium formats. Like right now, I had the third scales on there, but I really think that they work for the smaller scale things. So again, I'm not exactly sure still what I'm going to do with Killer Croc versus Batman. I think I'm going to move the Bat bike down here. Not the Bat or the 0 year Batman where the busts are, and then move the busts on the sides or up top, probably on the sides. 0 year Batman under the Bat bike, possibly. Either that or I'm going to sell it to JWR. So we'll see we'll see if he still wants it. Pretty sure there are rules, and if it disappears during shipping, I think not having it declared properly causes issues. You're probably right, Paula. The Endo got delayed. Yeah, I think we'll have that happen. Do you regret doing the bottom shelf? Seems like you have a hard time with that space. Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I wish that I had put them up higher. Again, my thinking was that I was going to always get third scales. Well, and that's why I made so much space. I wanted to make sure it had plenty of room for third scales down there. And there is. The issue is that companies are making less third scales. So I'm buying quarter scales again. I'm buying stuff like this, or I'm buying Batman versus Killer Croc, where before those would have been third scales. And so less is being made. And in addition to less being made, there's probably going to be delays because of the shipping, because of the tariffs. And so, stuff we're going to be getting in from LBS or Prime One, like the Riddler or Mr. Freeze, who knows when those will actually be made? Who knows when they'll actually ship? Does the new Mr. Freeze light up? The one that they tease with Nora? Yes, I would assume it will. Sorry, I missed one there. My one-to-one deep tail predator arrives tomorrow, the large version. That's awesome. Is that the Prime One? Hey, Chris, did you order the Alex Ross Superman? I did not. I'm assuming that's Christopher. I've not seen it spelled that way. I like it. So no, I haven't ordered that one. I will order the Batman though. Another thing I didn't address the other day in the videos too, now that I'm thinking about it, is, I was like, well, I would leave a lot of this empty back here because a lot of it would go on the sides. Not everything, but some of it. And I also forgot to mention the Tweeterhead busts. So, again, my thinking was to have a whole row of Tweeterhead busts, all the villains back there as well. So there's things that are coming that could also fill that space that I think would be really cool. Again, those are third scale busts, so they will take up a little bit of room. Do you reckon Prime One will continue to do half scale statues in the future? Is that gone? Also, do you think Prime One will continue to do DC movie statues in 1/3 scale? I think that there'll be less half scales. I just don't think people collect them very much. I think there's a very small group. And I think that they will continue to do third scale movie pieces, just not a ton. I don't think that that's something they're interested in, James. Spot Mocha for Gaming. Hi, I'm having a hard time updating my game. It's been 4 years since the preview got released and my team left, and now I don't know what to do. I'm alone. Should I cancel it or not? It's hard to choose. What game are you talking about? Are you talking about a video game statue? So let me know. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. I'm guessing the Batman and Mr. Freeze bust from Tweeterhead will be delayed as well with these tariffs. Yeah, without question. As far as I know, Tweeterhead doesn't have anything on the water right now. That that I had a conversation with Chad a couple weeks ago, and I don't believe anything was on the water at that time. That could have changed since then, but I don't know. And I would imagine he's probably thrilled because, again, I don't think he can eat that kind of tariff cost. So I'm assuming anything that's at the factory. But I mean, Batman wasn't supposed to ship till I think June and July anyway for Mr. Freeze. So who knows? If this all gets cleared up, maybe it'll be on a boat tomorrow. Who knows? I really hope I get that Batman versus Croc shipped to me. It's an amazing piece and an instant grail. Same here. It's my most anticipated piece of the year, although this is going to be hard to top it. So I don't know. I don't know when they're going to release it. It's supposed to be based on DC characters. I used Vesta from IKEA back to back for really large statues and leaves room for another 1/3 or 1/4, 1/3, or maybe 1/4 around 1/3. That's the thing is, like, I don't love to mix scales, which is why I love to have my third scales up on the sides. I like to have the the bus on the or the quarter scales on the sides. Because again, these things are still massive, even though. Sorry, I forgot to put the screens back in. These things are massive as they are, but I don't love to mix the scales. I just try to stay away from that. Jason from Essential Sequential in the house. How's it going? Nerd, that's for sure. Hey, takes one to know one, my friend. I'm glad to be a nerd, my friend. Anyway, thanks again for shipping out those great Finch pieces, and can't wait for the next ones. We can't wait. But thank you again, my friend. It's awesome to have him show up in here. That's awesome. I'm waiting on the half scale 89 Batman. That's a great piece. And I believe if anybody's looking for the half scale Dark Knight, Matt Martin's selling that one. So you might give him a heads up. Have you heard anything about PCS and what they're doing with the tariffs? It would kill me if Mikey got delayed or canceled. Again, a lot of the companies that I'm hearing from, they are going to be passing on some of that cost to the consumer. And it's just is what it is. People have the option to cancel. Every company is different, but PCS, we've heard from them. We've heard from a lot of the third-party retailers. It's just a shitty situation. And again, pardon my French, but it is. It's just a bad deal. Again, that's why I'm kind of glad right now I'm collecting art as well, because there isn't going to be that tariff coming in. Whereas all this stuff is, coming from China, and it just sucks. It just does. But again, every company is announcing a different policy, and that could be changing daily. Do you play video games? XOXO. I haven't in a long time. I'm a big old school Mario Kart, Mario, Nintendo guy, but I really like the Arkham games. I like to play that. I have a PS5 that I got for Christmas a year ago, and I still haven't plugged it in. So, I spend all of my time doing all of this, and so it doesn't leave me a lot of time for gaming. But I do like to game. Beast 51, I'm wondering how I'm getting pieces from smaller sellers with no problems with tariffs, yet bigger companies are putting on the brakes now. Most likely Beast 51, it's because it's already stuff they have in stock. If they already have it in the United States, there's not going to be a tariff on it. But if they're having to get it from overseas, that's where the issue is, right? Rock on, Jason. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. Arab Gamer 77, did you ever consider buying from official distributors of Prime 1 studios in different countries rather than directly from Prime 1 studio to avoid tariffs? Again, I've always ordered either directly from Sideshow or directly from Prime 1 studio. And so I really don't know outside of that who other distributors of Prime 1 are. There's some that are kind of secret, but there are ones that I would love to order from, but it just takes them forever to get them. And again, running a YouTube channel, I like to have stuff out quick. I mean, obviously, a lot of eyes on this thing, this Batman Tactical Throne, one of the coolest pieces. And again, I apologize. I'll turn on one of the screens. I should have turned on the screens so you guys had it, although the batteries, I haven't charged them. So I don't know if it'll come on or not. me see if I can get this one to come on. We'll at least get one screen going, but how cool is that, right? So yeah, I should have had this on. It would have made the video way cooler. Yeah, see, it goes to that power button, but yeah, you get the idea with the screens on. Let's see, where was I? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. They are also coming from China. Let me say most product is coming from China. If you're a statue, you're coming from China. Twitter has the problem, I think, with sending the products to the international customers as they've gone MIA since weeks after requesting the payment of shipping costs. I think they're probably, and again, I don't know. I would imagine they're still trying to, figure out what's going on with international shipping. But I would assume it wouldn't affect international as much. I know I mentioned this already, but you have so much wall space and so much awesome art. Start filling those walls up, top and bottom. I behind me here, I've got the Finch wall, and that is like my passion. That is the coolest thing. If I had to sell everything in my collection, I would sell everything before those. I absolutely love it. And then I've got my Lieber Mayo stuff over here, my Jim Lee, Ryan Benjamin, Ryan Brown. I've got just a number of amazing pieces, my Jason Fabok, my Tim Sale. Art is my passion right now, and I just absolutely love it. I've spent a lot of money, and I don't have a lot more to spend. I've still set aside. I still want to complete my Finch stuff. I still have a number of pieces that I'm hoping to get from David. He's my favorite artist, and again, if Jason's still here, just thank you for helping arrange all of that. And I love the art. And if I had done this room differently, if I had become an art collector when I was designing this room, I would have designed a lot more wall space. I have some, but these statues take up a lot of room. Now, what I could do is the opposite of what I want to do, but put all of my third scales down below, all my quarter scales on the side with art behind it. That would give me a lot more wall space. And if it ever comes down to that, where I need the space, which I'm getting to that point, then I might have to change it. But again, like I said earlier, this room is evolving constantly. It's always going to ebb and flow. And that's why I designed it this way, to have it constantly change. Again, whether I'm putting premium formats on the side, or whether I'm putting a big Batman in the middle, or, I've got bat bikes or whatever back there. It's just one of those things where it's always going to ebb and flow. And that's the way I wanted it. Mix the scales, do it. I don't love to mix the scales, but I try to keep it a little separate. Sideshow is only charging 6 to 8% extra, with all things considered, seems more fair. Ben Cave, I can't agree with you more. Like the fact that they kept it at 6%, it still sucks that they're going to charge people more, but it just is what it is. Are you going to change to collect more of the original art, since these tariffs are going to make statue collecting more difficult? Again, the art is easier to get at this point, where you don't have to worry about the tariffs. The only thing I have to worry about is shipping, and getting it here sometimes, which can be pricey. But I just don't know. Like, I'm hoping they solve this problem, but again, you have two really strong leaders that they're really strong headed, and I can't imagine either one bucking. At some point, somebody's going to have to, but stuff's just not going to be coming from China, I feel like, in anytime soon. So black and white art, I have a passion for it right now. There's definitely been a dry spell of things coming into the cave. Stuff hasn't just shipped. Except for the exception of this one right here, obviously. So I love art. No, same question, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've spent a lot of money this last year on art. I can't believe how much I've spent. But it means a lot to me. When I look up at this Finch wall and I see every villain that I love, I love it. It just means a lot. The new show, Your Friends and Neighbors, on Apple TV is pretty good. I haven't heard of that, Brad. I'll have to check it out. Hey, Chris, how are you feeling about your tactical throne after having it for a few days? I love it. I think it's one of the coolest statues I've ever seen. Again, I need to charge the screens, obviously, but it's just so awesome. It's so well done, and I just can't recommend it enough. I've had more people in the last week say, Chris, I ordered it because of your review. And again, that's why I love to do this channel, is because, I mean, obviously, I've said it a million times, the community is the best aspect of this. And being able to connect each other to it, being able to connect and offer each other's advice or opinions, like me ranting and raving about how I'm going to organize my collection. Like, thank you guys for that. Because, you know, we all need each other. And if my review helped you decide and pushed you over the edge, sorry, not sorry, right? Because what we do on this channel is we do this right here, hashtag enabled, right? That's what we do. So I'm glad to help. I'm glad that I can do that, right? Did you play The Last of Us, and are you watching the show? Oh, he's asking XXO. Last of Us, I haven't started watching that yet. I love the first season, but we haven't had a chance to start watching the new season. Bat Beast, they what they say, like 2 or 3 more this year. So I would imagine we're going to get one in June. They had one in June last year, so I would imagine that we will have one. Is Tactical Throne now over your, excuse me, is Tactical Throne your favorite over Detective Comics 1000? So Tech 1000 is back there, all blurry. To me, it's probably a close second. I still think Tech 1000 for me is my favorite, but it's just, they're both so freaking good. Remy Wild, ordered my first Prime 1, the My Hero Academia villains piece. Really excited to finally get one. Thankfully, I'm in Ireland, so tariffs won't be an issue, hopefully. Yeah, that's awesome. And congratulations. I had a chance to see the My Hero Academia, at least one of them in person, and it's really well done. So congratulations on your first Prime 1 piece. You will not go back. Prime 1's phenomenal. Looking forward to Darkseid's Pfeiffer Catwoman bust, if it'll still be made. It's been crickets from Darkseid. I really don't know what's going to happen with companies like that, where, you know, they're putting out great stuff, but I haven't heard from them in a long time. So I'm still hoping that happens. How do you dust all those statues? Great question, Jason. So I have things like this. But I do a little bit with, but the thing that I use and I recommend the most is makeup brushes, like women's makeup brushes. They're super fine, and they get in all of the little crevices, so you can really dust. And then you could use something like this to pick up, you know, dust the flat surfaces. But that's what I recommend. I try to dust often. I don't probably dust as often as I should, but yeah, women's makeup brushes, I highly recommend. My pleasure. I need to get some for me soon. You're talking about art or statues? Do you have, I don't know if Jason, do you have any statues? I'm curious if you have any. And are you talking about art or statues? Because yeah, for sure. If you definitely need to get some more Finch pieces too. But yeah, I'm definitely still have a list for you, my friend. Rock and Roll Rankins, hit up Jason from Essential Sequential. Got a great Joker piece from him. It's actually one of my favorite Jokers I've seen, with the dark hair. I really like it a lot. But yeah, if you ever want, you know, original art, not just from David Finch, but other, you know, amazing artists like Klaus Jensen. He had some Clay Mann stuff on there. He represents a ton of amazing artists. Art Adams. Cannot recommend them enough if you want original art, guys. Definitely check out essentialsequential.com. I check it every day to see what's new on there. Essential Sequential, one statue at a time, LOL. I bring a air compressor and blow the dust off of mine. You can do that. The only thing is, I don't always recommend like the canned air. Don't use that because it does have chemicals that could affect the paint. So I would stay away from that if you can. Any thoughts on the LBS Absolute Batman just off the concept? Yes, I really like what Jay did with that piece. I'm sure Prime One is going to do one as well. It's a no-brainer. I think the Absolute Batman is awesome. Actually, I just got a package delivered from Essential Sequential today with David Finch's cover. Got a signed copy from them, and so Jason, thank you for that. I love the Absolute Batman look. I think it's really different, and so I think it would make an amazing third scale. And obviously, Jay is the first one to show us that they're going to be doing one. I thought this was a birthday stream until I realized it's not your birthday. So yeah, I had tons of people wish me happy birthday today because Facebook mentioned my birthday as being April 21st of 2002. So I'm a young man right now. I don't know why it changed it. I didn't ask Facebook to change it. My birthday's in June. My birthday's June 29th. So I got all these birthday messages and I had to individually say, hey, thank you, but it's not my birthday. So I was able to change it, I think, at Facebook, but I guess Facebook has done that to a lot of people for some reason. So I had to go in and create another Instagram account to get my birthday changed. It was crazy. I'm waiting on the Last of Us statue. I hope that stuff ships. Again, those statues are really good, by the way. It might be better to buy from distributors versus Prime One Direct. But the thing is, Ledge, they're not going to get them either. If Prime One's holding product, they're not going to ship it to the retailers. So you're not going to be able to get it from them either. Never have thought of dust. It must take hours. Oh, God, dust is awful. This room's not too bad. This room doesn't have ventilation outside of my DIY unit that I have, my split unit, which thank God we put that in here. Although it pisses me off because it takes up room for my finch wall. It drives me nuts. But I could put 3 more finches right there. But it's just dust is the evilest of enemies of statues. Art, you can frame it and have it on the wall and dust the frames, but yeah, dust is an enemy of statues for sure. Yes, you do need to get finch art. Yeah, without question. You need to get finch art. I still have, people have asked me, so I just got Deathstroke this last weekend at C2E2. Again, thank you, Jason. I still have a couple more. I've got Talon. Which is my number one, the one I want right now the most, with like him with swords, with like a broken, like battle damage Talon. Really want that one. Joe Chill, which is Batman's first real villain. Him pointing the gun with the kind of the beanie hat. That's another one I really want. Talia Al Ghul would be one that I would want. And I think Calendar Man. So I'm definitely getting down to into the dredges. But there's some larger ones still that I want to get as well, like maybe a few torsos. It's truly a passion. So he does have a few statues. That's awesome. That's great. Adding statues with the art, they pair up so nicely, whether they're CGCs, whether they're original art, creating a gallery like this and incorporating both. That's something I definitely want to do. I want to keep, doing that. So again, having walls like this, where there's some of my Finch pieces there. And then I've got, original art that I'm working on that wall, with my Bermejo. I got Jock there. I've got my Ryan Brown, Tim Sale, Jim Lee. So I'm still working to try to incorporate the art with the statues. And so, they just pair up so nicely together. So I'm glad you have some statues, Jason. Older WB Bruce Tim maquettes were my thing. And actually, I think I remember us talking about that. I think at MegaCon, that, some of those WB pieces were really good. Really good. Yes, air purifier, which I don't have in this room. I've considered getting one. I probably will, but that could be helpful. Can you post a link for the duster you use? This is, it's called Clean My Collection. And I think it was on Amazon, if I remember correctly, but I'll see what I can do and post in our Facebook group. Statues are cool, but art is more personal. That's the thing, is that I think the art on the wall means so much to me because it is a one of one. And I mean, yeah, David Finch can draw 70 Mr. Freezes that look similar, but I'm the only one that has that one, that Mr. Freeze. My favorite one that he's done is my Hugo Strange. And it's, after Brian Boland. And it's just, I look at it and I think I'm so freaking lucky to own it. Like, I'm the only person in the world that has that. So there is a lot of draw for me. It's like I've got this right here. This was $100 sketch that Sean Murphy did for me in Dallas. And I haven't framed it up yet. I just have it on my desk. But he would draw 100 of these for fans. It would be very similar, but this is the only one that looks exactly like this. Like, it means something coming from the artist. And I'm a Batman fan, and I love the artists that have brought Batman to life. And so for me to have something from them, that just means the world to me. And so I really connect to the art so much. And I was an art print guy. I've got a couple Alex Ross canvases. I love that as well. But the very first commission that I ever got was from Alan Qua. I had to think. And he did a Two-Face for me. And that same weekend that I got that Two-Face, Big Dave, and some of you know Big Dave from the conventions. He's also on Instagram as well and does Bat Force Radio. He had me come over to Javier Fernandez's table. He's like, you got to see this. And it was that Two-Face, original Two-Face from One Bad Day that I bought. That started steamrolling. I got my first Jim Lee at that point. And that started this domino effect of me loving the art. And then I met Finch a number of times, but the first time I got a commission from him was in San Diego 2 years ago. And it's very similar to the Batman on the tower. And once I got that from him, and then I got the Man Bat from Jason in MegaCon, which he drew live as a tribute to Neil Adams when he passed away. And then I got my first commission from the Head sketches, which was Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Joker. Those were my first ones. Two-Face, those were my first four. And it just, from there, I'm like, this is my passion. I love it. I absolutely love it. So it is personal to me, and it is one-on-one. Man, Jason was there as well, but JWR, we met in Dallas for the very first time, had dinner together with the Essential Sequential crew, and Klaus was phenomenal. They talked about clothing the entire time, which was really great. We talked very little about art that night, which was really cool, just to talk about the artists. And they asked us questions and we asked them questions, but it wasn't always just about art. It was a lot about life, and it was really cool. So that was really awesome. I don't think the Essential crew is in Dallas. I don't think JWR this year, but hopefully next year. Absolutely. There'll be many more, my friend. Klaus isn't in Dallas this year, just Matteo Scalera. Oh, so there are a few. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Matteo Scalera, I've got my first piece from him. Got that also from Essential Sequential. It was kind of a prelim type thing with Joker and Harley. Love Mateo's work. Really, really good. Prime One has to do the Trinity Absolute designs. I'd buy Wonder Woman in a heartbeat. I would imagine they will, but it's hard to say. Bill, brother, just popped by to say hi and say, damn, dude, what a beautiful Bats tactical throne that is. Congrats. Thanks. The screens aren't plugged in. I don't have them going, except for that one that's the battery's actually lasting. But well, now it just died. There we go. I mean, just how cool are these screens? Like, isn't that awesome? So I took the screens off because I'm going to try to move it to the center here just to kind of see what that looks like. But I'll turn them off to save a little bit of battery. But yeah, that's what they reset to. But yeah, they're really cool because they've got the USB ports where you can add your own logo. You can add your own whatever you want. I could download YouTube videos and have them playing on there. It's pretty neat. So anyway, thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was gonna say he's just such a fun dude. So he was so much fun to talk to. Love Ink Pulp guys and can't wait to buy stuff from them. I was going to say they'll be back around, and maybe again, hopefully they'll be back at Fan Expo Dallas. That's obviously the closest one to JWR. It's a 4 or 5 hour drive for me, but I'll be back in Dallas. I'm not going to be in Dallas this year, but hopefully some other one soon. We talked about going back. I know what's the one in DC? We talked about maybe doing that one in the fall. I know Finch is going to be at that one, so I've never been to DC, and so Billy and Eric are going to go to that one. It was a Baltimore Comic-Con, I think. So we're playing around with the idea of doing that event because I've been spending a day and doing some of the DC stuff, which I would love to do. Nervously waiting for that Mr. Freeze pre-order. Again, I don't know if they're going to put much up for pre-order, but we'll see. David has a painted Thor he's doing for me. That's awesome. It's funny to me, like I resonate more with David's black and white line work. I really love the paintings, but they don't hit me as much as the black and white line work does. And I don't know why that is. I think maybe that's just my personal preference, but there's been a couple of pieces that David has done Batman wise that are, I think, going to be up for auction on the Heritage auctions. I've considered bidding on those. I just don't know if I need it. But his painting work is phenomenal. But it's just so different to me. Like it's just so different. Like that one, Jason, you showed me from the last Halloween. Like it was so great with the pumpkins and everything. He has so different styles with his painting versus his line work. And they're both awesome. For me, I just prefer the line work, but congratulations on Thor. That's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Considering classic Harley for Finch. Remy, I actually am. There's a couple of pieces that I have that I would like maybe have him do another one. Harley was one because I got that one at that dinner where it's kind of that skater Harley. I saw one that he did a while back where it was like this gesture Harley, but it's like battle damaged. And so that would be one that I would maybe want to get. Also like the Finch Catwoman I got, I really like her. She's probably in my list, probably my least favorite one because she's kind of the classic Catwoman. And what I wanted was the modern with the goggles, or even maybe one with the longer hair. And so I might eventually get a second version and see which one I like better. But all the other ones, they're like my ideal versions of what I wanted on the wall. So we'll see with the Catwoman and Harley. But they're not like a must for me, but we'll see. Oh, Ghost Rider would be incredible. That would be incredible. Incredible. I don't know. That's a good question. Classic Finch Harley is the best. Yeah, I would like to see, and I think that would be really neat to get a headshot of Harley battle damaged Harley, Jester Harley. I think that would be really neat. So I probably do need to put that on my list, Jason. There are rumors that Batman Part 2 will be canceled. I think that they've said Matt Reeves, if it gets delayed again, like he might not be able to direct. So I'm not holding my breath on that film. It's just crazy what's going on with Warner Brothers. Like I've just been really disappointed with them in general. I feel like they've just been a train wreck. Actually have a Mr. Freeze WB sample maquette that was in Bruce's private collection. That's insane. That is awesome. That'd be awesome. If you ever have a free moment, which I'm sure you don't, but if you ever wanted to like film part of your collection, Jason, I would love to put it on the channel. We would promote the hell out of Essential Sequential. I've had so many people tell me, it's like, yeah, I'm making Jason money because I keep doing these videos on all of the Finch stuff. So I'm glad that I've sent business your way. And if you ever have a chance, I would love to continue to do that. But it would be cool to see some of those pieces, like for you to talk about them. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But I'm just putting it out there. That'd be really cool. A lot of people have asked, and again, I don't know if this could ever be arranged. But we've wanted to have David on the channel for a long time. We've had Jeff Johns on the channel, we've had Lieber Mayo on the channel, we've had Jason Fabok, and my dream would be to have David come on here, even if it was just like for 20 minutes and maybe draw something live, or maybe draw one of my head sketches or something, and just be able to talk to him, because there's so many Finch fans on this channel, that it would just be a dream. So I don't know if that could ever be arranged. Again, I'm just going to put it out there, but that would be amazing if we could ever make that happen. That would be just awesome. And again, I know if I asked David, he's too nice of a guy to say no, but I know if he wouldn't want to do it, I don't know, but it would be awesome to have him on. George, hello, Chris. Glad to catch you a lot. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. Glad to catch a live after a long time. Do you think Prime One will do a Dark Knight Returns 1/4 line after all? I can't imagine that's still going forward. I didn't love the designs, but it's possible. But they just don't have a lot of faith in DC right now, and so a lot of those projects are on infinite hold. That art is so cool, black and white. Love it. Thank you. I love black and white art, and again, my favorites: Fabok, Finch, Lee, Sean Murphy, Tim Sale, Bermejo. The list, Jock. The list goes on, and the reason I love them is because of their line work, and I love what they do with black and white. I just love it. That's awesome, Bill. Chris, I don't recommend having your expensive art below your mini split. I know. I've had people say that all the time. I just don't have a lot of room. I have it sealed up, like in the frame. So if it does ever leak, but I know I worry about it all the time too. I just don't have a lot of room, and I want to have all my Finch together in one spot. I don't have the Clock King. Again, I'm considering getting Calendar Man. That would be one. I don't know if I would do Clock King. But again, I'm getting kind of to the end of my list at this point. My favorite artist is Alex Ross. Original art is a no-go for me, but I'm happy. Alex Ross has had a couple pieces recently on auction. I think went for like $3 or $4 grand. But having an Alex Ross original would be really cool. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the advice on that. Good to know. Worse than crack. Are you talking about art? Yeah, art is worse than crack. Art is fun and forever changing. It sure is. Do you think you've gravitated toward art because the wait is not as long? I mean, the thing is like, depending on, like, again, Jason's been phenomenal. But there's some people that you deal with. I've heard horror stories of people still waiting 5 years for commissions. So we'll see. Like I got a commission from Carla Cohen while I was at MegaCon, and I'm still waiting on that one, and I don't know when I'd be getting it. She's told me a couple times she was going to work on it, and then she's had a project or something. So sometimes the wait can be very long. But I've been very, very lucky with who I've been working with, and I've just been extremely blessed to get the stuff in so quickly. And again, I tip my hat to Jason. I bought most of my stuff from him. I have painted since 15 and now I'm 51. I do a lot for people, but I have nothing I do that I like. I own other people's art, though. I think that's very, very typical of artists. I don't think a lot of artists don't like their own work. Baltimore's, I was going to say I've heard good things, and so I think I probably won't do New York this year. But Baltimore is one I'd like to try to make happen, just because I think it'd be fun to do DC. I've always wanted to do the monuments and do the Smithsonian, and again, just being able to hang out with Billy and Eric. Again, me going to the conventions, like being able to talk to artists and get art from them, and just being able to hang out with friends, like that's what it's all about. Heroes Con, that's another one I haven't. To see, I've been able to cross off the big ones. I've been to Mega twice. I've been to New York Comic Con twice. I've been to San Diego Comic Con twice. And now it's probably time to give some love to some of the other cons. Also, I'd really like to do the OAX, Original Art Fan Festival. I think that would be awesome to do that. And I've kicked that around as well for next year. Commission pieces, again, there's a lot of places to get them. But again, I recommend Essential Sequential. Again, Jason, he's in the chat here with us. I would definitely recommend you hit them up, essentialsequential.com. There's a lot of great art already on there. You can also commission art from Jason and his team. Also, you can go to like Comic Sketch Art. There's Anthony's, Albert Moy. There's a lot of people out there that represent different people. Like Albert Moy represents Jim Lee. So, but again, I definitely recommend Essential Sequential. They've been fantastic. What's up? Hey, Vincent, thank you for being here. I just finished my move from Tennessee to Orlando. I'm at the parks every day and I haven't ate at home yet. Curtis, I'm very jealous. That would be a dream for me to move to Orlando. I'm a giant Disney Parks guy. You guys know that. You can check out my other channel, Midwest Mouseketeers, and check out my family's adventures. But man, it would be a dream to move to Orlando and be able to go to the parks. So just pop in the evening, and that would be awesome. I'd love that. Sites are going to wait on getting new statues from overseas until the silly tariff stuff is over. Again, it's hard to say, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Just send me what you want, the nerd, and I will get it for free. There you go. Time will tell. Time will tell. Sure, it's not as cool as yours. We'll see what that. I can't remember which one you're talking about. Is there any artist you're still waiting to get an original on like Capullo? So I have a Capullo. It's just a little tiny Batman that I won in an auction. Capullo is very difficult to get. You can get his original pencils, like from published pages, but like to get a commission from him, he just doesn't do them anymore. So yeah, I would love to get something from him, but it's like, we've asked at different shows and he's like, nope, never going to happen. Never going to happen. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but really, I mean, all the artists that I've wanted to get something from outside of maybe Alex Ross, really my focus right now is Finch. The more pieces I can get from him, and it's not really for me. Like I know a lot of people are like, Chris, you should just get published pages. You should move into covers because it's not about selling them for me. And a lot of people, they buy them to sell them, for the investment. And if the right published page comes along, I'll go for that. But for me, I just love this. I love having the art on my wall, and it's not about ever wanting to sell them. I have sold a few pieces recently because some of the art I originally got, my intention again was to have it on the wall. But at the end of the day, I needed that money to buy my Finch stuff. The Finch pieces are unfortunately not cheap. And they have gone up since I started collecting. And I still can't believe I've spent the money I have, but it's just, again, it means a lot to me. So, Capullo is definitely one that would be on my list. If you're talking about asking David, that'd be amazing. DC doesn't have faith in DC at the moment. Yeah, I was going to say nobody has faith in DC, it seems like. Hey, Chris, how are you? I have a question. Prime 1 Batman versus Croc is my first statue. Is there any updates on what happen with these tariffs? Your guess is as good as mine. Again, mine is also, my received a tracking number from Prime 1 in Japan, and they put it on hold because, again, I think that they're wanting to figure out what's going on with these tariffs. And so your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm hoping that this situation figures itself out soon, but I don't know what's going to happen. Does Jason Fabok do commissions? So I have a Fabok back there that I won from him in auction, actually, in one of the Whatnot streams. And I've also, he's been very kind to us. We had dinner with him at MegaCon a year ago. He is a fan of the channel. We have correspondence back and forth. I've actually sent a piece of my statue to Canada to get it autographed, and he sent it back to me. So he has promised me that he's going to do a larger commission for me at some point. He's been really busy with the his newer projects. Ghost Machine obviously is a big deal right now for him. Jeff Johns and the rest of the crew. But I would still like to get one, but I don't think he does them very often. Sometimes he will draw something and then bring it to the show, and there's usually only one or two pieces, so you have to be first in line. He offered me a larger Batman piece a year ago, and I turned him down because I had something specific in mind, and I regret that. because it was a really nice 11x17 like cover quality. And I kicked myself. I'm still really happy with the Batman I have. It's very, very Jason Fabok. It's awesome, but he's harder. He's very hard to get commissions for these days. So we'll see. Guys, I was going to do an hour. I did an hour and 5. My voice is kind of going right now. I got to start getting stuff ready for dinner for my family. But I just want to thank everybody for being here. You guys were amazing today. We talked a lot about art. I want to thank Jason for Essential Sequential for being on. And we need to get you on the channel just to talk about art. That would be a lot of fun. So if you ever want to do that, hit me up. It would be really great to have you on one of our Rogues Gallery live streams. Just talk about this nerdy stuff that we're talking about today. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be really great, Jason. That'd be so much fun. We can pick your brain and talk about, your story and how you got involved. I know we talked a little bit about that at MegaCon. That'd be a lot of fun. So that'd be really great. Ben Cave. Yeah. Rogues is on Wednesday of this week. We'll, I don't know what we're talking about yet, actually. So we'll see, but Rogues guys will be on. We'll look at photos and do all our normal stuff. But yeah, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Rogues Gallery Live. It's going to be a great show. I just want to thank everybody again for being part of this amazing community. There's been a lot of negative going on lately with the tariffs and stuff, but man, keep on collecting what you love. We have passion for this stuff. And even if we're not getting stuff in, we still are connecting with each other. And that's what the most important part. This community is the most amazing thing that we have going. The friendships that we have, the conversations we have, it's just awesome. We connect with each other. And I can't thank you guys enough for being part of the community. And just thank you for loving the art like I do. It really means a lot. So thank you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Tune in Wednesday, Rogues Gallery Live. See you guys right here in the Batcave. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.